You're welcome.
I read an article about you in Jet magazine not too long ago, and that's where I first heard the name, but I must ask, as I've been talking about in the studio and around the building today, where did the Lone Ranger come from, Chris? Swimming and Lone Ranger. Give us a connection.
My last name is Silva, and it has been mispronounced so many ways. Silva to silver, and for a joking little comment, since I am a sprinter and I swim short races, there's a lot of build-up from the crowds that comes before a sprint race, and it's been, by my comrades and good friends, it's Hi-Yo Silva in a way, and it's kind of caught on.
So this was kind of something to get the crowd revved up to help you through the competition.
And it's something that made me laugh and blew my concentration, but it worked out well.
You won a silver medal in '83, is that right?
That's correct, at the World University Games in Edmonton, Canada. And that marked the first time a black has ever competed internationally representing the United States.
And then afterwards you decided to retire?
Well, actually, no. I went back and trained. That was still during my college career. In 1982, we won the NC2A Men's Division I title at UCLA, which was the first one ever won by UCLA. And in that, we set the American and NC2A record in the 400-yard free relay. The American record still stands today, and our NC2A record has been tied to this date. But I competed throughout the rest of my career, which ended in '84, with me culminating it at the Olympic trials, in which I missed the U.S. Olympic team by 0.4 of a second. I then proceeded to train a little bit here and there and played a little water polo. It had been 17 years of competitive swimming, and I wanted to...
So you decided to calm things down a bit.
See what it's like to be a normal person and experience life, you know. I guess there was something besides water. And I ended up training and made the U.S. national team, of which I was the captain, that went to the arena sprint meet in Bonn, Germany. And we won, and I won a gold, 2 silvers, and a bronze. And we won the overall meet title. I was the captain of that team, and it was a very, very great trip and another landmark in that I was the national team captain.
But going back to missing the Olympics, was that just the cutting? You put your head down as soon as I said that. Was that the cutting edge?
No, actually, there were a lot of people that were left over from '80 that were a lot more experienced, had a lot more international competition, were hungrier, had finished their careers and trained for 3 years afterwards, and now they had come back to reach their peak, so to speak, and it culminated in the Olympic trials. That was the first Olympic trials that I had actually trained for, and I was very pleased with my performance. I took a considerable amount of time off of my best time, and I was very, very elated with my performance. To have done as well as I did, I shocked myself. And now with proper training, a little bit older and a little more knowledgeable, hopefully we can get rid of the 410s and make the team in '88.
Why the comeback in '88? What did it?
It's been a combination of things. I'm a religious person. This is my 3rd year in the ministry, and my mom and some of the elders in the church have kind of said, your ministry is to come back and to be a role model for blacks and to represent God per se through your swimming. And I'm like, right. And even when I was younger, they used to joke about me even being a minister, and lo and behold, I used to even sit back and play with it. And in 1982, I believe, I announced my calling. And this is my 3rd year in the ministry, and it has come back to me. Actually, that is my ministry right now, is to go back, compete, and to be a role model for blacks.
How do kids respond to you when you say, yes, it takes lots of work, lots of training, lots of no playing with your friends?
I look back on my childhood, and I remember the days where it was, Chris, no baseball, Chris, no, you can't go outside, it's time to go in and go to workout. And it's something that is hard to get a grasp on, but it is something that is such an essential for life nowadays, that you learn how to budget your time, that it is not a money-making sport, that you have to get an education on top of it, which I do stress to the young people more so than it being an athletic culmination, that an education is the important thing, and learn how to budget your time. Swimming will help you in your further life more so than anything else there is.
How is your training going to be changing from working within the Atlanta area and going international and then changing to the Olympics? What's the difference in training in each phase?
Right now, with swimming, you start out with, especially for a sprinter, you start with a lot of distance work and very little sprint work at the beginning of training. That's to build a base and to build more of a distance background for your endurance. As you start to get closer to your big meets, say nationals or trials, then you start to decrease on the yardage, increase on more of the quality sprint work. Right now I have one more week of hard work for the July nationals, which are the end of July, and I start doing more sprint work. The sprint work is to get your fine-tuning. It's a lot like a racehorse. When a racehorse is, say, a couple weeks out, they run him a lot, exercise him a lot, and as it starts to get down, he starts doing shorter things with more emphasis on the quality than the quantity.
In the time that you've been semi-retired, I'll say, how many groups of children do you think you've spoken to over that time?
Oh, oodles and oodles. It helps a lot. Once again, my church background has a large play. I'm the first vice president of the National Baptist Youth Convention, and that I reach a lot of youth in that perspective. And through my church in Los Angeles, there are a lot of young people, especially young athlete males, that I try to sit down and, regardless of what aspect of sports you're in, to let you know that you can be in athletics for a short period of time, but in education and a time budget is something that's going to last your lifetime. And that's something that I try to convey to all the young people that I talk to.
Are you looking forward to all of the work and training and you can get it harder and harder and harder?
It's funny, now that I am older and I know exactly how much it takes and what it takes to train and compete, it's a lot different aspect. It's not per se for UCLA and for my team, it's for Chris. And Chris knows if he wants to succeed what it takes. I've learned my body and my response and what my training takes, and it's become more fun. And for my coach, it's even a lot more relaxing to have one of the older kids come back, because it gives him a little less stress off of having just the rigorous training of the kids that are on the team, and it's a automatic for them. For me, I come in and it's fun, and it's like he's like a big brother and a dad and kind of a pal now.
But you also know your direction and exactly what you have to do to get there.
Exactly, and he knows that I know how to do that, and it helps everybody. It works as a team, which is most important.
Good luck in '88, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll be back with more Community right after this.